Okay, good afternoon. Everybody had a good lunch? Yes?
Yes.
Who's feeling sleepy?
I'm feeling sleepy.
He's feeling sleepy, okay. Keep him awake, okay? So, welcome back. So, if you, we are the second half of the session today. If you happen to notice the way we have structured today's session, it's something like the data owners come in the morning, right? They talk about the 5 big agencies with big as in like big in open data. They came in the morning, they gave a talk. And I hope you had some discussions with them during lunch. And if you have more questions, feel free to send to me, and we will be more than happy to send them back and to get more clarifications for you. Now the session of the afternoon is about how to build applications and to actually hear from people who have actually built applications that use the open government data, right? So that's the objective. So session 1 in the morning, people with the data. Session 2, people who have experience using the data. That's the structure for the day. So now here we have 4 speakers in the afternoon. First one is Justin Lee, as I just mentioned before the lunch. He's from BlackBerry. He's going to talk to you about how easy it is to put an Android application to the BlackBerry platform, and he's going to give you an overview of the BlackBerry 10 also, right? So raise your hands. Who saw the BlackBerry 10 phone during lunch? Okay. Who is interested to take a picture of the BlackBerry 10 phone?
No!
That will give him a heart attack, okay? And maybe you get him fired.
If you don't like what I'm doing right now, then probably you want to take a photo and get me fired or something.
Right. So no photos, but then it's going to you can take a look at the device. So this is about an upcoming platform that is January 30th. The competition starts on February 15th. So if you like to be the first, right, to be one of the few early application developers on the platform, then you can consider using BlackBerry. So we are fine from the organizer's perspective. There is no issues.
I love this guy.
And it's something like the test devices that is available during the programming period. So you can, the plan is that from February 15th to March 15th, we will at least have one checkpoint in the middle, whereby you can come test your applications on devices. We are trying to get Android devices. We are trying to get BlackBerry has also promised to give us some loan devices. So there will be enough opportunities to test it.
We've got great prices too.
Yes, we have got great prices. So we haven't really announced the prices.
Oh, we haven't? Okay.
Yeah, the thing is, it's great prices. So people who have seen the prices page only have seen a line sketch of a tablet and a smartphone, so they don't know the exact prices. Because what we want to
I
say.
haven't updated you that we are actually changing our prices to something better.
Okay. So that's good. So he just let the one cat out of the bag. So which means you should be more interested in developing for BlackBerry 10. I guess. So the second speaker for today, I think John Peterson. So he's from Book. So Book, the applications are down. So what I'm actually requesting from speakers from Book, and also Melvin Suwan is a lecturer with Nanyang Poly. So what I want to personally know from these two people is that what is the challenges they faced in developing the application, right? So all of us here want to participate in the competition at the end of the day. But the thing here is, what is the challenge? What if there is a pitfalls inside? What is the pitfalls to avoid? What is the performance steps, right? So this is what I want to hear from these people, and probably you can also ask your questions on, how they develop kind of thing. The last speaker for today is Gautam Moran. He was here. Okay, he's there. You're supposed to sit here. Okay, that's the speaker's chair. Okay. So now here, so if you notice, many speakers in the morning, they are telling 2 types of data. One, data that is exposed using API. No problem, you make a call, you get it. But what about there are so much amount of data that is available in Excel sheets, CSV, JSON, whatever. How are we going to use this data if your mobile application wants to tap onto that data, right? So I discussed with Gautam, and of course I gave him homework to do, right? So that, and he's a regular speaker in Google Developer Group meetup in here. So I tossed the idea to him saying that, what if we can show to the people that take the static data, what the government offers, clean it, make it available in an online database or something like Google App Engine or other services, what you like, and that becomes an API backend for you. So you like some of the static data from some government agencies, but you want an API for your mobile application to talk to. This is a good opportunity because Google App Engine is a free tier every day. You can build an API out of it. So he's going to show you step by step on how to take a data, make it available into an API. So you can consider doing the same thing with the data what you're going to be working on, right? So this is what the way we have structured it. Okay. So I hope you will enjoy it, and as a bonus for all of you coming here, we are going to be running workshops on every Saturday. So you guys will be the first people to get the invite for the next week's workshop, which will open tonight or tomorrow. Next week is going to be Android deep dive. So keep checking your email addresses. So once, if let's assume all of you are going to come back next week, right? Register and of course come back. We will not open the registration for anybody else. So that's the thing there. So you're going to be given priority. And there are 3 more weeks to go before the competition. Alright? So without further much ado, here comes BlackBerry 10, Justin Lee.
I'm not BlackBerry 10. that's BlackBerry 10, not me. So my name is Justin Lee. I am an application development consultant for BlackBerry under the developer relations team. So my sole role and job is to engage developers like you guys. Okay, and we do actually support a lot of different other platforms other than Android, of course. Our native primary development platform is C, C++, Qt, Cascades, and of course HTML5, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard about the finalized HTML5 standards has been announced last month. All right. So without further ado, today I'm going to talk about running Android applications or porting your Android applications over to BlackBerry 10. And feel free to stop me and ask questions. Just raise up your hands, ask questions, because I'm going to forget a lot of things. And if you have any questions to ask me, feel free to interject, ask me, and I will answer on the spot, because there are a lot of things that I'll probably not cover in the slides. I'll just talk based on experience. Okay? So first things first, this is just an overview of what we support, what is good, what's upcoming, and so on and so forth, like how to convert your existing applications and blah blah blah. Alright, so the first things first, how is the Android apps running on our platform? We are actually running, we actually built a whole entire, what do you call that? Java runtime, and basically together with the core libraries and everything, we actually ported the entire Delphic virtual machine over to our platform. Okay, so that's that. Of course, we have the core libraries that are over there, you know, with the managers and all of that stuff, right? And we are slowly linking each one of the different components into the hardware itself. So obviously Android is not the same as BlackBerry, right? So there are a lot of things that we need to start hooking up the different various portions of the device itself, of our BlackBerry services into the Android. Okay, so we are still in the progress of doing that, and there are a lot of things that we still have not supported yet. But this is basically how it looks like. Okay, and we do support OpenGL, ES, and all of that stuff. So, first things first, which version do we support? We support Android Gingerbread only. Okay. So we support Android Gingerbread version 2.3.3. We do not support Honeycomb. We do not support Ice Cream Sandwich. We do not support Jelly Bean. Whether we're going to support Jelly Bean, Ice Cream Sandwich, and so on and so forth in the future, will be known only after launch. Okay? Hint, hint. Yes. Okay. And also, basically, the Android application itself is simply your APK Okay, so you're actually building your APK and everything, and the only things that we're doing is actually wrapping up the APK so that our Android, our BlackBerry runtime can actually read your Android APK and load it up, and basically load onto our Android runtime. So you have to understand, it is just an emulation, right? It's emulating. So as always, you know, if you're running a virtual machine inside your laptop, you would expect, what would you expect? Slower, exactly. Okay, so do not expect like it's going to be blazing fast or anything like that, right? It's going to be slightly slower, but we are still in the midst of optimizing it. The performance is actually quite good enough to have a lot of the key applications that we will be announcing and bringing. Oh, sorry, they are talking. I'm still on the online support right now, actually. That was yes. So they're gonna bring making it faster and better, of course. But what was I saying? Oh yes, a lot of the key Android applications that have been ported over to our platform, which I'm not going to say anything about the key applications, have a relatively good performance. We're not saying the best, but it's usable enough, right? You will notice the slight lag, but it's actually quite decent. All right. And the other thing that we are trying to do, of course, in the third portion of it is the deep integration of BlackBerry, which I mentioned just now. It's like, how do we connect the different services from the Android to our actual BlackBerry? For example, in-app purchase, right? When you implement in-app purchase on Android, you don't want the in-app purchase to go to Android, right? We want the in-app purchase to go to our in-app purchase, right? Because we want to make money too, right? So that's some of the services that we are linking to our specific service, our BlackBerry service on our platform, so that it's seamless to you guys. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to basically do anything about it. For example, like the push notifications, right? Android, they call it what, C2DM? I think they renamed it to something else. Google Cloud Messages, GCM, right? So we have just recently ported over the C2DM. GCM hasn't been ported over yet, just C2DM, and because GCM only supports jelly bean, right? Ice cream sandwich and jelly bean. So we haven't done that yet, and basically for C2PM it supports gingerbread. So right now gingerbread for the cloud notifications, and we do actually have that. There's some setup for that, and that's for later on. Alright, so that's basically some of the things that we are bringing to the platform to make it more unique and based on our platform itself, BlackBerry. Okay. So right now, yes, okay. So in terms of compatibility and everything, right, about 70%, as I mentioned, about 70% of the Androids out there, we are fully compatible with no code changes. The biggest thing that pretty much every APK that I've been helping to port over, that I always encounter are two things. And by the way, these are the unsupported ones, right? That's for Playbook 2.1. Going forward, I'll show you the Playbook, the BB10. But there are two things that we do not support, that a lot of people have it in their project. The first thing is Google Maps. We do not support Google Maps. Okay? We do not support Google Maps APIs. And there are workarounds to it, which I'll go through a little bit in the following slides. The second thing that we do not support is the Android test runner. Okay, the Android test runner, and I always see that when I port it over. Okay, so just to make sure that the Android test runner is not there, remove it, right? Remove it from your manifest.xml, remove it from all your classes and everything. It's really not critical at all to your application because it's just a testing framework. That's it. Okay, so you do not need to depend on it. And if you are going to build on a release build, it should not be there even if you're going to upload it to your Google Play. All right. So these are some of the stuff. Some of the things that we do not support also is the NDK. We do not support NDK at the moment. A lot of the hardware features, for example, like Bluetooth, NFC, and proximity sensor, we do not support. Telephony, we actually brought support to the BB10, obviously, because it's a telephone, right? It's a phone. So we do have the support for calling, SMSs, and basically all of that stuff from the telephony. Android.telephony.star. Namespace, yes, I think so. VoIP we still do not support yet, so pretty much all of this except C2DM and telephony that we support in BB10 in this part of it. You can get more of the API support on this link over here, developer.blackberry.com/android/API support. So you can get all the information there, whether we support on BlackBerry 10, which are the stuff that we do support and we do not support. Okay, majority of the stuff mainly is hardware stuff, like for example NFC, Bluetooth, barometer. Right, these are the things that we haven't brought the support in yet. All right, so for Google Maps, right, how do you go about changing that? Remove everything from the Google Maps, all the Google API, replace it with a web view, okay, and use the web services from Google. I know it's not going to be the ideal experience. We are actually working very hard to bring the Google Maps API over, and we are working to actually replacing that with our own BlackBerry stuff, which I will not say anymore. We do support location-based also, so GPS, we do support all of that stuff, okay? So, what else? Let's see. There we go. So with the, I'm not going to talk about Playbook. Okay, so maybe I should talk about Playbook because we do have everything that is on the Playbook will transition. All the features will transition to the BB10. So basically, we do have the camera APIs already available. So it's quite nice. I kind of like it. And obviously, with the camera APIs comes a lot of interesting, nice apps from Android that I will not say. So we do have camera support, video support, and in-app payments, which basically links to our own BlackBerry in-app purchase. What's new on the BlackBerry 10 is the virtual keyboard, which we finally have. Integration with the virtual keyboard on the BlackBerry 10 itself. Permission settings, for example, if you have like GPS settings and everything on your Android, it will actually prompt on our device with the local permission settings to request for settings for that. Right? Screen resolution, we added support for that. Our screen resolution, okay, for those people who don't know, it's slightly confusing, so bear with me. The first device, so we will have two types of devices. One is the touch screen devices, and one is the keyboard version, okay, the keyboard version device. The touchscreen device will be releasing soon. The keyboard version will be releasing not so soon. Okay, so the touch version, there will be the first touch device resolution is 1280 by 768. And there will only be one device with that resolution. All subsequent touch devices will be 1280 by 720. The reason why is because we made a decision to support standard 1280 by 720 after the first device has been actually prototyped. So it didn't make sense for us to change it for our release. But every subsequent touch device will be 1280 by 720. So there will be about a 40 something pixels difference in width. Okay? For the keyboard version is going to be 720 by 720. Okay? Resolution. And it doesn't matter whether if it's a high-end phone, a low-end phone, or mid-end phone. The resolution will remain the same until we say otherwise, right? So, I know, right? Like for example, Apple, right? They changed the resolution just recently, right? So, but for our side, we will do the same thing. Also, we'll maintain the same resolution, 1280 by 720 across all touch devices after the first one, and then 720 by 720 on the keyboard version. All right. So those are the important things that you need to remember. We do have intents to invoke the APIs, the BB10 apps. So So for example, like if you want to invoke the calendar, invoke the PDF reader, and so on and so forth, right? Basically, we can use intents to do that. Notifications are meant to be 10, so any notifications come in from the Android, right? That is not the C2DM, which is the cloud version. It's just the normal normal notifications from your application itself. It will be automatically put into the BlackBerry Hub. All right. Of course, APIs will be the PIM, Personal Information Management APIs, and the Telephony APIs. Any questions so far? On what else do we support? Yes?
Yes, sorry, just a quick question on the devices. Will
Yes.
you support USB on the go?
Do we support USB on the go? No. That was simple. Even, we do not support USB on the go on Android and even on native. Like on all our other development platforms, we do not support yet.
Yet.
Yet. I gotta choose my words very, very carefully. Any other questions? So far? Any questions on what we support and what we do not support? In terms of, how many of you have existing Android apps? None? Don't be shy, don't be shy. How many of you have developed applications? Oh my god, everyone is like sleepy from lunch, right? Maybe we should do like some entertainment jokes, like stand-up comedy or something like that. Anyways, so we do have like some of our roadmaps and everything all published in developer.blackberry.com/android. So anything you need, developer.blackberry.com/android or developer.blackberry.com. You'll get all the information you need there. If you don't get any of the information you need there, send me an email, I'll make sure the information is there. That's my job. Alright? And my email address is very simple, jusle@rim.com. And it's my name cards over here. I have lots of name cards. You can take it as many as you want. So I've already covered all this in terms of the support and whatnot. So we do publish what our roadmap is, what support is going to come further on and later on. Okay? And we're pretty much finalized. Our command line tools, or rather our support tools are currently version 1.5, and version 1.5.1 bug fixes will be coming out in the next week or two. Yeah, so that's just an update. So converting the existing Android apps, we gave you three different ways of converting. Okay. One would be the online version. So on the web, we actually created a Java applet for converting your applications online. So all you need to do is just open up your browser, install the Java applet, and then just select your Android path, select your APK, press click, and then watch it go. Okay. Eclipse plugin for your Google Android development, your Eclipse. So I understand the recent Google SDK, they actually packaged the entire Eclipse into the SDK, right? Awesome, loving it. Yes, Android developer also. iOS developer also. Anyways, so Eclipse plugin, all you need to do is just simply set the site URL, and then very simple. Just set the site URL, install the software. Any updates that happens, it will just push over there. Command line tools. This is the one that I really use a lot, because a lot of my partners and clients, they give me the APK, only the APK, so I don't really get to use the Eclipse because I don't have the source code. So I use the command line tools a lot, and I'll show you how to use it in a bit. Alright, and then of course the simulators. The simulator is just to test your application. Most of the time you'll probably want a device to test it on. If you need a device or anything, send me an email, or you can come over to my office or send me the bar file APK, I can test it for you. Alright, on our devices. And of course, if I have any spare devices, I can give it to you guys. So there are a few basic concepts that you need to know. You need to know about the signing your application and how to do the debug token. So this is the online thing, right? The online packager is very simple. You set your APK path, and then you have to set your SDK. So SDK is essentially the Android/SDK root directory, right? Not the further on, okay? So let me just show you. Let me see if I can show you where the root directory is. Let's see. No. Can you see? Can you guys see? Okay, good. So it will be under workspace here, SDK. So this will be the root directory, okay? SDK, okay? So for you guys to know, what's next? Where is my presentation? There we go. Okay, so that's how you do it. Okay, then you just press start test, and then you'll get a compatibility report. You'll get a compatibility report below. Majority of the time, this is my experience, there will be compatibility problems. And basically, most of the compatibilities, if not all the compatibilities, are mainly Google Maps. So if you have Google Maps, your application will not work, full stop. Right? You have to make modifications and change that. Right? And there are other warnings, because these are all warnings, right? There are other warnings that are available. So for example, like icons. Your icons are not sized properly, right? Or whatever, right? These can be ignored, so to speak, and I'll show you how to ignore it later using the command line tool. So basically, if it works, fantastic. No warnings, no nothing. You can just click deploy or something like that, right? You want to deploy and send it off, or download the bar file, and you can start uploading to your vendor account. Okay? If you have problems, you will see something like that. You'll see like this red bar over here, and then you see like the compatibility thing over here, right? This report is very important. If you don't understand this report and if you need help porting it over, you send me an email regarding this, like send me this. Right? If you don't send me this report, I won't know what to help you with. Okay? So it will show you the impact. We have level 1 to 5 impact. Obviously, level 1 is lowest impact. Level 5 is higher impact. Google Maps is a level 3 impact, which is actually it's a middle range, quite high, which needs to be fixed. Okay? And I think Android Test Runner is a level 4 impact, which is actually quite important to fix. Majority of the level 1 and 2, it usually doesn't pose any problems unless your API hits it. Majority of the time, it will just ignore and fail gracefully. Okay, but anything 3 and above, it will pretty much like crash. Like it will just ding, and the application suddenly just disappears. Right? Yeah, it just shuts down. The application just like yeah. I have an application here that has the exact same thing. So the thing is like, it's like that, right? It'll just request and then it'll ding, it'll just disappear, right? It'll just close by itself. That's a compatibility 3, I think, impact 3, because it has a Google Maps implementation in there. Yes.
Sorry, will there be logging of this crash? Is there a log system in the background?
Yes, there is a log system. That's going to be quite interesting to get the logs. I'm not too sure, but basically I'm not too sure how normal developers do, but because we have our own stuff that we do. So basically we SSH in.
Okay, through a console. Okay. Yeah, but for example, the Android support, you have the login.
Right.
So
right.
is the login API mapped to the BlackBerry 10 native?
I'm not too sure about that. I have to get back to you on that. But based on logging, right, we have our own internal logging system where we have to SSH in and download the log files. Majority of the time, the log files will be located in the directory, the application directory under /logs, right? /logs. So you could actually do it like that, right, under the development mode, right, and it's only available in development mode.
Yeah.
So you could do that. I'm not too sure how, from an Android perspective, how to actually get it. It should be under /logs.
Okay.
Yeah, within the application not shared space, application file system. So we have two different file systems. One is the shared file system, and one is the application specific.
Okay.
I think it's like Android, right?
Yes.
Android also has a
Yes,
shared.
yes.
Yeah, shared and application specific. Yeah. So that's how you get it. All right. What else? Any other questions? No? All right. Let me carry on. I love this thing. This command line one is my go-to for everything that doesn't work, because everything doesn't work. So command line is the best. Command line, there are two things that are very important. APK to bar verifier. So this command line tools, you have to actually download the command line tools, right? It's all under developer.blackberry.com/android. Download the tools. APK.toBar verifier. This is to actually generate a report, right? Compatibility report. And if you don't understand compatibility, if you don't understand the report, send me that report so that I can actually tell you what to do and what to change. It will tell you exactly. It will tell you more things, because it will tell you which file it's not, there is problems with, which file, which class, and so on and so forth, right? So it's actually it's much better. But once you've kind of solved all the problems, that it passes through, it's warning less than 3, right? You can start converting into a bar file. So this step 2, convert into a bar file, right? Even if you have impact 3 and above, if you feel confident that your application will work without it actually disappearing and crashing just like that, right? If you're confident with that, you can actually ignore the impacts. And this is what I usually do for just to try whether it works, right? You can ignore the impacts, okay? So in APK to bar, let me see if I can, let me open up a terminal. Do I have a terminal that's already open? Terminal, no, I don't have a terminal open. Let me get terminal. Come on, terminal. Oh my god. Terminal. Okay, everyone can see? Yeah? Okay. So, hello? Alright, type with one hand. CD workspace, bbdev, no, sorry. I've got to unzip my, give me a second, unzip my command line tools. Okay, so over here, CD downloads, command line tools, okay. So this is how the command line tools will work, okay, looks like, okay. So once you download, it works on Mac and Windows. So I'm just showing the Mac version, okay. But Windows also it works. So basically you unzip it, you go to Library Tools, SDK. So you see something like that, right? You go to bin, alright? And then you have a bunch of file, stuff, right? So APK to bar, this is the one that you want, right? APK to bar. Is it big enough? Can everybody see? Can I? Okay. So what you do is you do APK to bar, and I'm not going to remember the command line, so I'm just going to press like that and read the help file. So one of the things that you would notice, let's see. Alright, so how you go about doing it, APK to bar, your APK files, right? Or you can do a whole entire folder with all your APKs, all at one shot, right? These are some of the things that you'll probably not want to do. The ones that you want to set is the Android SDK path. Alright, the Android SDK path is essentially, if it's not specified, you can specify Android home, Android_home, your path environment settings, right? System environment settings. Usually I don't do that. Usually I would just set the SDK path, which is wherever your SDK path is, alright? Which I just showed you, the adt.-- something/SDK, right? Okay, that's that. Remember to install, I always forget, remember to install the Android 2.3.3 SDK. Okay? Because I always forget to install that, right? So when you download the SDKs and everything, remember to install that, right? Because I forget. And then, let's see, so, this is the one that you want, -W. So basically -W, right, would ignore the level, right? So if, let's say for example, after the verification, you realize that, hey, you have a warning, of impact level 5, and you want to ignore that. You want it to go through and actually create a bar file. Yes, we allow you to ignore it and then you crash the app, right? We allow you to do that. So you can do that by doing a -W5 or -W4 or -W whatever to ignore all the impacts. Okay? Alright? So that's what you can do. Right? To ignore the level, the impact level. So if you want it to go through and generate the bar file, that's how you do it. Disclaimer, it's not going to work. Your application is probably not going to work. Alright? There we go. So author name, this is really not so important. The other one that is important is the debug token. So if you're going to debug your application, right, you need a debug token. And a debug token is there for you to actually load and site load applications on our device. Right? It's meant for site loading. And in order for you to actually use that, right, what you need to do is you need to go to settings on the device itself. You need to go settings. You need to go to security and privacy, and you will have this thing called development mode. Right? You go to development mode, you have to turn on the development mode. Once you turn on development mode, you can start site loading your applications in. And in order to site load your applications in, you need your applications to have a debug token. Or rather, you need your device to have a debug token. Right? The debug token, I'll show you how to generate later on. Okay? So remind me how to generate that. But once you generate the debug token, you need to install the debug token here. Once you install the debug token here, you need to use the same debug token over here. So it will use the debug token so that this application that you have created, the bar file, can actually be site loaded there. Yes, it's quite tedious, but it's based. The reason why we do this is because of piracy. Yes, piracy. And I just learned something new on Android. Android has this thing called LVL, some licensing thing, right?
License verification.
Yes, license verification library. Here's the thing, we don't need that. Why? Because of all this tedious stuff that we're doing right now during development. It basically allows you, once you actually sign your application ready to publish, nobody else can load it in. Okay? Nobody else can, like site loading in and everything. You can't actually download the bar file from our app world and actually site load it into our device or anything like that. It's going to be, yeah. And even the debug version, you can only site load together with the same debug token. You can't site load on another device with a different debug token. Alright? So that there is a lot of security inbuilt in this. Okay? It's by default. So -D, the rest not really important. The rest not really important unless you are more advanced in doing this, right? Let's say for example, if you want to change the manifest file without changing the APK. So you can actually do that. It's a little bit more advanced. But from a basic level, you basically can you only need to know the -W and you need to know the -D debug token. All right. So, yes, sir.
Yeah, the debug token, can you load it on several devices?
Yes, you can load it on several devices, but the debug token needs to be created for several devices.
Okay, but there's an option to do it.
Yes, which I'm going to show you right now. Right? So we're talking about debug token and everything. Let's talk about the signing process then. Okay? So for signing, right, what needs to be done is you need to actually get a signing key. Alright, you need to get a signing key. And in order to get a signing key, you just go to developer.blackberry.com, scroll all the way down, there is this option called get signing key, or something like that. It's very, very small. Just do a search. So you click on that, then you will go to this signing key page. You will request for your signing key. There will be passwords and everything that you have to get, right? And then once you get the signing key, you get two signing keys, right? One is both are CSK files. Okay, one signing key is for the debug, which is a PBDK. PBDT. It's a PBDT, right? Debug token. And the other one is the RDK, which is the release token. Yes. And then the next step is you need to install these tokens, these CSK files. To install these CSK files, what you need to do is you need to do let's see, BlackBerry. Let's see if I can do this. BlackBerry signer. I think that this is the one. BlackBerry signer. Okay. So in the BlackBerry signer, right? What you want to do is you want to register your keys. Right, the CSJ, sorry, not CSK, CSJ files. What you want to do is you want to register. So in order to register, you just follow this thing. Register your store password, which is your vendor store password, your CSJ PIN, the PIN number, which is what, when you register for the CSJ file, this is the CSJ PIN, and then your files, the two files that you get on your email. Okay? Once you register, very tiring, huh? Once you register, these keys will be installed in library / something, I can't remember. But in Windows, it will be app data. It will be under app data / BlackBerry / something. /local / BlackBerry / something, right? In the Mac, it will be under /library / application support / BlackBerry / something, alright? Somewhere around there, right? So after you register, right, the next thing you need to do is you need to generate a debug token. Alright, so to generate a debug token, you need to do this. By the way, everything you do here, you need internet connection. Okay, just so you know, if you don't have internet connection, you cannot register your keys. You cannot basically can't do any of these things that we're doing. And your firewall needs to be basically needs to allow connections, these connections going out. Okay, very important. Yes, because we're actually connecting back to our backend server and verifying all your connections and all your registrations. Okay, so the debug token request, just as simple as that. Debug token request, the password, the store password, the device IDs, right, and then the debug token. The device IDs, as this gentleman was asking, right? If you want to test it on multiple devices with one debug token, you add the PIN number, right? In every device, how you get the PIN number, you go to settings, you go to about, okay, and then you go to hardware. Settings, about, hardware, and you'll see this thing called PIN. My PIN over here is 25C95 something. Okay, this PIN is specific to each device. This is the PIN that you want to put into the device ID, right? If you want the debug token to work on more of the devices, different devices, you add as many of the pins as possible, right? Once you do that, once you create a debug token, you need to put the debug token into the device, right? To put the debug token into the device, you do BlackBerry deploy. And BlackBerry deploy, the one that you want is install debug token. Install debug token, the token itself, the something debug token .bar, okay, and then the device. 192, whatever, right? There's just the IP address and the password. Alright, I think I bored everyone already, right? Everyone's sleeping already, right? Okay, and then after that, you sign, you deploy, that's it, done. Okay, I've gone through pretty much the entire process. Quite a tedious process. That's why we have an Eclipse plugin, which simplifies everything. Which basically does it automatically for you. Alright? That's why I like this one, right? because it basically allows you to generate a debug token, install your keys, generate the debug token automatically for you, and install it to the device for you, and do all your deployment and debugging. Okay? So yes, you can actually debug applications, just like any Android apps. Okay? We support GDB. Yeah, GNU debug. Yeah, debugger. Alright, same thing. So therefore, I think I'm pretty much done, right? How much time do I have? 15 more minutes? Alright. So basically, I get this also quite a lot of times, right? Where people think that they take the source code from the Java file, right? And then they zip it up, and then they create a bar descriptor, and then they convert it to a bar file. No, for Android it's very simple. You have the APK, okay, and that's it, pretty much it, right? Let me see. Do I have an APK that I can show you guys right now? That I have. Actually, I don't think I have. Oh, I think I deleted it already. Yeah. Anyways, so if you get a chance, right? Oops. No, not notes. No. Okay. My notes are private. So if you get a chance, right? If you get a chance of converting your application, right? When it comes out with the bar file, one of the interesting things that you can do is change the bar extension to zip. Unzip it, right? And then you see the entire directory structure. You will actually see your APK still there. We are not doing anything. The only things that we're actually doing is we're creating our XML files so that it tells the application loader how to load your application, how to load the APK, and it describes Android APK that it's loading. Alright? We're not doing anything to your APK. Alright? So if you have a chance, unzip it, and you can actually take a look at the structure, and you will basically realize it's just a zip. And that's our bar file, very simple. Obviously after you sign it and everything, it's all encrypted. Alright, there's some verification, encryption and all that stuff, right? Of course you still can see it, but the only ways that people can actually get your file, your bar file, is if you actually give the bar file to someone, right? People from your bar files, once uploaded to the app world, our BlackBerry world, once uploaded, nobody else can actually get it. Okay? The only way that people can actually get your bar file is if you as a developer lift it out, your own bar file. Right? Because once I download to this device, it's encrypted. Okay? So even if you get the bar file, which I tried before, actually, I really tried. Even if you get a bar file extracted out of this device, it's useless. We have internal tools to do that, and it's useless because it's encrypted. So even if you get it, the bar file, if I try to install another phone, cannot. It's not allowed. So the only way to sideload, right, is if you have the original bar file. Okay? That's it. Do you guys like that in terms of protection? Right? App protection, that's how we do it. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So once you've done it, just submit to our app world. Okay, now this is marketing pitch. Why should you build on our platform? Why should you bring it over to our platform, right? Okay. In our app world, or we renamed it to BlackBerry World, actually. It's a global marketplace, blah blah blah, same thing, free. It's free to register, so no $99, right? Okay, none of that. It's free to submit apps. Our tools are free. Everything is free. There is no base cost. There is no upfront cost. There's nothing, right? Everything is free, except the device, of course. Right? But then again, I can give it to you for free if I have the device. Okay, if I spend. Okay, there is a 70-30% share, which is everybody also has, right? Standard, right? We support credit card, PayPal, and carrier billing. Our carrier billing, I think, I can't remember how many countries, but in BD10, our carrier billing is going to be available in some of the telcos in Singapore, definitely Indonesia and a lot of the other regions in this part of Asia, okay? Free paid apps, integrated barcode scanning, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. The compelling thing is, in regions that do not have paid Android apps or do not support paid Android apps are usually the regions that we do have paid BlackBerry apps. Right? So for example, Philippines. Philippines do not have paid Android yet. Right? We do have it there. We have paid BlackBerry apps. Vietnam. Vietnam doesn't have paid Android apps. We do have paid BlackBerry apps. So you can actually make money from our platform. Okay? Just some numbers, like make how much money and so on and so forth. I don't need to convince you guys, do I? Just make sure you will make money, full stop. Okay? Some success stories, game developers, Android the game, ported some games over less than 1 hour, very simple, just some code-based changes and everything. And BlackBerry games, actually this second gear, right, actually made a whole load of money within the first 1 week. More than Android actually. A lot more, like significantly a lot. Okay, a lot more on our app mode. This is another one, another game, they ported over, they are getting more than 25 times downloads than Android. Okay, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of success stories for Android, and and in Singapore specifically, we are actually doing quite a lot of interesting things with Android porting with my partners, my major partners. I'm sure you can guess. A lot of the major companies out there that has Android apps. Okay. So these are some important links: developer.blackberry.com/android, developer.blackberry.com/android/tools, developer.blackberry. Just remember, developer.blackberry.com. Simple? Okay. And then you have the support channels and everything, BlackBerry Dev. This is the ADC for James Dreher. He's the ADC specifically for Android. I'm the ADC for basically everything. So I'm like generalist. I know everything, like Android and everything else. He's specifically Android, so he will be able to answer more of your questions, like for example logging. Okay, any other questions? I am pretty much done. I leave 7 minutes for people to ask questions. Any questions? Excited? No? Boring? No?